You like that one? That's a good one. You like those boys?
I still remember the day I brought Zuka home, her big brown eyes scanning the room like she already owned the place. She was this fluffy, gentle giant of a dog, and I'd been searching for the perfect pup to join my little crew of foster cats. I needed someone calm, someone who could handle the chaos of kittens zooming around. The shelter folks told me, everyone loves Zuka. I thought they were exaggerating, but the second she stepped through my door, my cat Stout was all over her, purring like a motorboat. I knew I'd made the right choice. Zuka fit right in. My house was always buzzing with foster kittens, tiny balls of fur I'd care for until they found their forever homes. Zuka didn't just tolerate them, she loved them. I'd catch her lying on the rug, her tail swishing back and forth like a toy, and the kittens would pounce on it, tumbling over each other. She'd just glance back with this patient, almost amused look, never batting an eye. It was like she knew they needed her to be their safe place. But life isn't always as sweet as those moments. Stout, my big old tabby, was Zuka's best buddy. They'd nap together, his head tucked under her chin, her paw draped over him like a blanket. So when Stout got sick and crossed the Rainbow Bridge, it hit us both hard. I'd find Zuka sniffing his favorite spots, the sunny windowsill, the scratchy old cat tree, her ears perking up like she expected him to pop out. But he never did, and her tail would droop, her eyes dull. I'd sit with her, stroking her fur, whispering, "I miss him too, girl." It broke my heart to see her so lost. I worried Zuka might never bounce back. She'd always been so full of love, but grief has a way of dimming even the brightest spirits. I tried to keep her busy, tossing her favorite squeaky toy or taking her for walks, but she'd just plod along, like part of her was still waiting for Stout. So when a call came from the shelter about a last-minute batch of foster kittens, I hesitated. The other foster home had fallen through, and they needed someone fast. I wanted to help, but I wasn't sure Zuka was ready for new faces. What if the kittens overwhelmed her? What if she shut down? I decided to give it a shot, but I planned to take it slow. The kittens arrived, 5 tiny fluff balls, all eyes and wobbly legs. I set them up in a spare room, away from Zuka, thinking I'd introduce them gradually. But Zuka had other ideas. The second she heard those little mews, her ears perked up, and she parked herself by the door, sniffing like she was on a mission. I opened it just a crack, ready to step in if things went south. But Zuka didn't barge in or bark. She just flopped down on her belly, making herself as small as a dog her size could, and waited. The kittens were nervous at first. They'd peek out from behind a blanket, their tiny bodies trembling. Zuka didn't move a muscle. She just lay there, her big head resting on her paws, her eyes soft and patient. I held my breath, watching. One brave kitten, a little gray one with a white patch, crept closer. He sniffed her nose, and Zuka gave the tiniest wag of her tail. That was it. The ice was broken. Soon, another kitten toddled over, then another. They climbed on her like she was in a jungle gym, batting at her ears, nuzzling into her fur. I laughed, relief washing over me. Zuka wasn't just okay with them, she was in her element. From that day on, Zuka became their everything. She'd let them wrestle her tail, tumble over her back, even nap curled up in the crook of her legs. If a kitten was shy, she'd wait, still as a statue, until they felt safe enough to approach. I'd sit on the couch, sipping coffee, watching her transform into whatever they needed: a playmate, a bed, a protector. It was like she knew exactly how to heal their little hearts. But what I didn't expect was how they'd heal hers. Zuka started to change. Her tail wagged more, her eyes sparkled again. She'd bound into the room each morning, ready to play, instead of moping by Stout's old spots. The kittens brought her back to life, and I could feel my own heart lifting too. I'd catch myself smiling as I watched them, thinking about how much Stout would have loved this crew. But fostering isn't forever, and that's the hard part. Each kitten would eventually find a home, and I'd brace myself for Zuka's reaction every time one left. The first adoption day was tough. A family came for the gray kitten with the white patch, and I felt a lump in my throat as I handed him over. Zuka watched from her spot on the rug, her head tilted. I thought she'd be sad, but when the next batch of kittens arrived, she dove right in again, same as before. She didn't hold back her love, even knowing they'd leave. It was like she understood her job was to get them ready for their new lives, and she was good at it. Every family who adopted a kitten mentioned how confident and playful they were, thanks to her.
This is the cutest thing ever. Look at all of her favorites. Oh my gosh.
Over time, Zuka became a legend at the shelter. Send them to Rhonda's, they'd say. Zuka will work her magic. She's helped hundreds of kittens find their way, each one leaving a little paw print on her heart.
You're a
and
big
mine.
boy.
I'd watch her with the latest litter, sprawled out as they climbed all over her, and I'd think about how far she'd come. Losing Stout could have broken her, but these tiny kittens, with their big eyes and fearless spirits, brought her back. So now, when I see her tail swishing like a toy for the newest batch, I know she's not just their mama, she's their hero. Thank you for watching. If you liked the story, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next video.